pale skin had flushed bright red. He'd forgotten most of the canned responses his father had encouraged him to memorize, and the ones he did remember came out sounding forced. And now he'd allowed 6 seconds of excruciating silence to elapse as he stared out the window at a non-existent raccoon. Leopold directed his eyes back to the man behind the desk. "Sorry, what was the question again?" There was a creak of stiff leather as Leopold's father dug his fingers into the arms of his chair. "Larry's just tired," he said through peroxide white teeth. "Poor kid was so excited about this meeting, he hardly slept last night." Larry was a nickname Leopold had acquired in childhood and had never been able to shake. Larry Berry. It sounded like a punchline. The only person ever to call him by his given name, Leopold, had been his mother, and because it rang foreign on anyone else's tongue, he'd long ago resigned himself to Larry, a name that made him cringe whenever it was spoken aloud. The man glanced at his watch. An electric guitar signed by the members of some famous band was displayed proudly on the wall. "No need to be nervous, Larry. We're just having a friendly conversation." He grinned in a way that was designed to put Leopold at ease. "I asked, what's your greatest strength? What do you feel you're best at?" Leopold cleared his throat. He could feel his father's eyes drilling into him. "Well, I guess..." He tried to conjure one of the answers he'd rehearsed, something about leadership and problem-solving. "I don't really know." "If you ask me, Mick," his father cut in, "Larry's problem is he has too many strengths. Makes it tough to decide where to focus his energy. Berry family curse." He laughed like a sputtering engine. The man chuckled politely. "Then I'll make this easier. How about you give me your top 3? Leopold's mind went blank. He saw something flick among the branches of the tree out the window, but forced himself to ignore it. His palms began to itch. "Larry," his father hissed. "No need to be modest." "I'm not." Leopold shifted in his seat. "I'm just not the best at anything." His father made a strangled noise. "Now, I'm sure that's not true," said the interviewer. But it felt true. It was the truest feeling thing Leopold had said aloud in a long time. What he excelled at were minor things his father thought categorically worthless. Working on his old car, tinkering with small electrical objects, and making homemade movies set in the world of a certain fantasy TV show that had gone off the air before he was born. He was ashamed of these forgettable skills, so he never mentioned them. The man winked. "Don't worry, I'm good at finding hidden talents." "I certainly hope so," Larry's father muttered. In Richter Berry's opinion, there were 2 types of people in the world, winners and losers. He'd argued as much in his first book, Think Like a Winner, the publication of which he'd parlayed into a career as a success coach, a profession that suited him perfectly because it involved, mainly, yelling at people. So long as he did it with a smile, a shocking number of seemingly well-adjusted people would submit to being berated, harangued, and belittled by Richter Berry in the name of self-improvement. Whole auditoriums of them, all paying for the privilege. Richter was very proud of himself and of his 2 stepsons, Hal and Drake. Hal, captain of his high school wrestling team, and Drake, going into his second year at USC's business school, were turning out to be killers in the barrel-chested mold of their stepfather. But Richter was worried.